Okay, well, my gaming has definitely slowed down. I'm spending almost all my time on computer games with The Witcher 2, and also with, well, dangerously, I picked up a bundle of Paradox games. I remember something like 5 games for $13 or something, downloadable from Amazon's site. And, well, we could be seeing a long slowing of these videos, which, well, most of you probably have missed quite a few of them, so if you are jonesing too much for some strange reason, you can always dig back into the archives. There's some pretty good stuff in there. Okay, so let's look at what we've got here. First player, Blue, set themselves up. This is turn 19. Interested in the Cimarron coal mine, and they built track to it. You can see White's challenging them for it, both for the mine and also they built track there. Okay, such as the second player was Red, and Red's interested in the Aspen mines. They also built some track down to Schofield to hook that up. That's about as far as they're going to get. There's a Hiawatha mine that's out, but the only way to catch that is to cut down this way. They're not that short on coal. They've got 2 coal mines. Once they hook Schofield up, they probably don't want to go out of their way for that. Speaking back to Blue, Blue owns a couple of these mines, basically. Crusted Butt up there, they do completely own. Walsenburg, Yellow could compete in. One thing I forgot last time, Purple had a guy in jail. I rolled the dice for him. He wasn't going to pay for him. This turned out to be a turn where he actually might have wanted 2 prospectors again, but he bought the second prospector because of all the passenger routes he was picking up. He wanted to still be able to buy mines at the same time. That didn't work out terribly well, but anyway, he'll rely on fate to get out of there. And over to player 3, that's Yellow. Yellow didn't even use their best surveyor. They're cutting over, trying to grab that Dolores mine, which Purple is also interested in and cutting down for. That's their only action. Over to... Oh, Yellow's also picking up the Durango mine, which is on the way. So it's kind of a double bonus. Lots of track there. And they only have 2 squares left. One here and one that doesn't really count over here. That I'll move a circle onto to indicate that they are getting that share. And that's everybody? Did I skip? I skipped Green. Green's competing for the Aspen coal. They didn't want to go for the silver because their chance of getting it is lower, and they're hauling almost nothing. So they want to make sure they've got some coal being created here. And this is how the coal price gets lower. At this late point in the game with the high IDS or whatever, it's very hard for one person to damage the price too much. So even Blue dumping, 13 coal in Denver didn't really hurt the price much. It dropped by 1. But if everybody's dropping a significant amount, well, you're going to break that number, and that is going to cause significant issues to the prices. Okay, let's see what else with Green. They didn't have to build any track, so that's it, and we'll get started. We got a few competitions that I got to roll now, not later. Speaking of competitions, prospectors always seem better to have the bonus on than surveyors. Every now and then a surveyor is really key having the bonus for. But at this point in the game, the prospectors really start picking up the need for it. And we see the winners here. Green beat out Red and Aspen, which is kind of cool, and Purple won in Dolores, which means Yellow's not going to perhaps build that section of track. They'll build this one because they're going to Durango, but they probably won't buy that. It will do them little good. They can't get very far. They only have the 2 cubes, so unless they ripped up some track down here or something, which they will eventually probably. Everything else they pretty much rely on. Cuba, they may, if that taps out, they may be able to. Alright, on. So I just finished up the first couple of players, Blue and Red. You can see the results of the competitions up there. Red lost, Yellow lost, Blue lost. That's Blue chose not to build the track. didn't really do them any good because white's going to build to there as well. No reason to lay track that's not going to help you late in the game, especially. There's no way out of there, and the only thing they could hope for is additional Cimarron mines. Lumber is mined in this game, of course. I don't think that's really an issue. But one thing we do notice, Red's turn, for example. He pulled $1,200. Basically, this stuff covered his operating expenses. $1,200 from the 2 big runs, and another $1,300 from delivering coal and lumber to Salt Lake City. The amount of money that you start making late in this game is really tremendous. So even though Purple's got this big jump with some $15,000, and most people are a little over 10 at this point. Red is behind. They had to spend a lot of money on those extra runs. But there is an opportunity to catch up. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's very likely. I think Purple's position is very good still. They've got this huge load of cash, but they don't have a lot of working mines, and that could be painful. Most notably, they don't have the lumber and they're getting the lumber up there, and the coal quantity that Red has. I don't think Red's got a chance to catch them, but maybe somebody else will. We'll see. And 10 things off. Green instigated a copper sell-off with Dillon. They dropped their copper there. They couldn't keep playing. It wasn't chicken, but if the Cuba copper mine went out, yellow would sell. Especially here with a winter track coming across, and green just couldn't hold off any longer. They didn't really need the money. It's just there's also the fact that there's enough time that copper will probably recover its value. Unlike gold, it is a little bit malleable. It's not like silver that it's going to jump up and down. So we're going to see silver hit 400 again, and the people holding silver, which in this case I think is just purple with Telluride, are going to make good money. Now, green didn't have the most copper. Yellow did. Yellow dumped 10 of them on the market. That's $4,000. Nice big lump of money made up for the lump of money that purple made earlier in the game, and now they're pretty close, actually. The big advantage, well, purple's got more of these big roots. However, yellow has significantly better production capabilities. Can they haul it all? Well, they're going to buy another train because, honestly, they can't. They've got too many locations, and even with the cross transshipment and everything, you still have to actually devote a train to doing that, even between 2 locations in the same place. It's a 0 rate, but you have to put an engine, maybe this crappy 9 engine, to do it. So yeah, they're gonna spring for a train. Well, we can see the effect on the prices. Copper dumped down, silver went back up, lumber totally stable. The small amounts being sold aren't going to affect the market, but Salt Lake City and Pueblo's coal markets are getting cut. Now, because everybody's got kind of 2 markets there, except for purple. Poor purple does not have a second market to sell their coal in. So they might depress Salt Lake City, which is kind of painful for red, because red kind of counts on that market, but they've got the Pueblo-Denver connection that everybody else has. This was just an extra offlet, a place to offlet some steam for the coal market for them. So if we're just down to purple doing it, it may slowly rise and give red another opportunity again. We got a lot of cards to refresh, though. Oh, Silverton. Somebody's poised for that. Yellow's poised for Silverton. Velocitos. Santa Rita, but it's only coal. Walden Lumber, that's a green-red option there. And York Canyon, which is down here in blue land, but white is actually closer at this point. All right, well, we're moving into the winter. And on to another turn. Okay, another long delay, but I just can't get playing too much. See what happens on this, the 20th turn. Green trying to claim the Walden lumber mine, and that's site or whatever, that's also being challenged by red. Both can reach it. Neither one can build the track because it's winter time. Player 2 is yellow this time, and yellow grabbed Valicitos, which they're just sitting on. They had a lot of things they could go for. The Santa Rita coal, the Walsenburg coal, the blues going for. They went for Valicitos, though, because it's lumber, more valuable than these coals. They also went for Silverton. They're one space away from Silverton, but they can't build that track now. And we see white and purple moving down towards it. Now, purple didn't choose to challenge. They were just going for Dolores. But white did choose, and they're heading up to Durango to slice up and grab Silverton if need be. Basically, I don't think whoever gets it probably is not going to face someone else trying to grab the track, I hope. That's always an ugly situation. So if white doesn't get it, they may not build this track because this track's more interesting to them. Gets them closer to Salt Lake City. Not that I think they're going to make it in time. In fact, they can't. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. So I don't know, how much desire there really is to expand there. Right, so that was yellow. Let's look at 3. 3 is blue. Blue's trying to rip up this track again. Remember, I kind of cheated for them. They picked up the Walsenburg mine. That's, they got enough coal. I don't know why they're grabbing more, but they probably should stop soon. It's not terribly expensive. It's a little over $100 to build a coal mine there, but I don't know. And let's see, we go to 4 is white. We've already pretty much discussed white. 5 is red. Red did the Walsenburg. They're not building any track, actually. They're pulling from the deck with their second prospector. They're the only person with an extra prospector this turn. And finally, purple, who's expanding into Hiawatha and Dolores. They own Dolores. They're trying to claim Hiawatha. And that's just, they actually do need more coal. They need more production. We should be seeing silver selling if anybody can get it out. But the only person with silver right now sitting on board is purple, and he can't get it out of Telluride. It's up there on this note. Big money differences could happen here based on whether or not green's snowplows work. If green snowplows work, both they and purple can get a lot of money. They have, well, $400. I don't know if anybody else has risky ones. Red upgraded theirs. I think theirs actually is risky. No, it's only a 6 and they've got a +5. Someone else, I think, yellow has a risky one running through here, and that's very unlikely to work. But they put the cash in for it. Alright, onward. Well, with yellow and green going first, we got to see the effect of all the snowplows. Red's got one going, but theirs was an automatic. And every single one of them passed. Yellow ended up pulling in over $3,000 this turn total, easily. This was 5, 7. They spent some money too, so probably around $3,500, dumping a lot of lumber and a lot of coal. We're not talking, the gold and silver and copper that they have that can store up and be the sort of one-time hits. This is actually not far from their normal production. They've got a lot of mines running and more than they can deliver. They may want to consider upping another big train, just because I don't think they're going to have a single delivery piece very often. They actually got stuck behind having to haul a single wood out of Paxton Springs when they could have hauled 2. They've got more coal than they can drop off in El Paso. They dropped off 8. They could have dropped 9 using the big 72 train. So I think there's a good chance that they may buy a 24 train, and they get half price off for this, so it'll only cost them $160. After production, Blue shows exactly why buying additional coal mines isn't that bad. You can get really crappy luck. They ended up killing Crested Butte and Trinidad. And yes, I know how it's supposed to be pronounced. both on bad rolls, a 2 and a 3. A 2 was what was needed for Trinidad. That was a good mine. So now they've only got 2 coal mines left. Their production is just dumped in the toilet. Well, after finishing up the deliveries, it looks to me at this point like purple's fallen into second place. Yellow actually has more cash on hand. And everybody doesn't know this. Purple still seems like the bunny. Ooh, forget about this. They don't want to build it. Purple still seems like the bunny at this point, but they've lost a lot of their profit off of the passenger routes, and they just don't have the kind of production that yellow does. They're about equal in terms of the base routes, I think. Got some new cards to handle, and then, well, we'll roll up a lot of coal and lumber delivered. Cloudcroft lumber down here. Gallup, just coal. Hillsborough silver. And Cripple Creek gold. That's one of the better gold mines in the game. Nobody's actually got Cripple Creek hooked up. So that's going to be probably a fight between blue and red. Green could get there even, so they might throw themselves into it. Because that is worth a lot of money. It costs $400 to build. If you only got 1 gold out of it, but you're guaranteed 2, it would be an iffy proposition. But with 2 gold, it's worth an extra $300. It's still not as good as a silver mine, though. Silver mines are so much better than gold mines in this game in general. Gold just does not cover it. I got to roll up those prices. We got the big IDS of 6. Maybe I'll come back and see what happens with them. But we see Denver's coal, because of the price going up, is going to get dumped again. Well, make a liar out of me. Alright, so the Denver price didn't go down. Actually, it was at even. And the roll, there was only 12 sold, so, or 11 sold, so it broke even. And that price is still inflated up there. The lumber prices have all pretty much gone up except for El Paso, which took a dump from all those. I forgot to roll for that purple guy in jail. He's still not coming out. Purple doesn't want to pay for him. They just aren't enough prospecting opportunities. There might be, but they didn't know, you know. So yeah, we're definitely coming to the end of the game here, and at this point you'll see, like, blue pulled up some track for $40. Purple's thinking about Marysville, stuff like that. Your chance of these kind of spurs being worthwhile are much, much less, and it's worth pulling them up for half the value. The problem, of course, is if a card comes up that went to them, or if you've pulled back too far and you can no longer reach key areas where new mines are coming up. That could strip you down and end up costing you the game, actually. Alright, this one's going up, and, well, over the next few days we'll probably get the rest of them up. I don't know.